Hi folks, John with the Wingman 115 channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm out here walking around in the woods and I got thinking about a topic. And the topic is the weather. And you're asking yourself, the weather? John, what are you talking about? You go crazy on me out in the woods? You get hit with a pine cone in the head? Well, my thought process behind this video is this. When do you call a no-go for a trip based on the weather? You always hear stories of people trying to climb mountains and the weather moves in on them, or they took off on a trip knowing and they get trapped and now they got to be rescued, or heaven forbid, they died. When is that a no-go for you? I understand that it's going to vary depending on your geographical location. Down here, summertime in the desert, you'd have to worry about flash floods. You know, that's a consideration. If you're in the Sierras, lightning storms, something to think about. Where I grew up in northern Maine, you would think about bad snowstorms and a whiteout, getting lost, or freezing conditions. So when do you decide, hey, out of being responsible, we're not gonna do this trip? Now, I understand how this goes. You know, I work just like you do, and I'm at work and I go, man, I just can't wait to go camping. I can't wait to do this trip. I can't wait, you know, and I'm just thinking about this trip and this activity almost 24/7. Man, that meal's gonna taste so good over an open fire, and we're gonna have fun around a campfire, or we're gonna have fun hiking or hunting or doing whatever. But if we're coming out here with folks that maybe aren't at the same skill level as us, or maybe we think we have a better skill set than we really do, when do we go, you know what, I'm not gonna go out there? Now, for me, down here in SoCal, we have what's known as these Santa Ana winds. And if you've never heard of that, what happens is you get where the desert gets really hot and then you get a little bit of cooler wind in the mountains, and all of a sudden it just sucks that heat right out towards the ocean, and it generates sometimes these 70, 80, 90 mile an hour winds where wildfires happen. It blows semis off the road. Heck, it'll blow tree limbs down, and you know, it's just not a good time to be out in the woods. And you've seen some of the pine cones that are out here. You get hit in the head with one of these Coulter pine cones that are like twice the size of a pineapple. It's going to put you in the hurt locker. So that would be a consideration for me out here. Another would be if I'm out, say locally, we'll talk geographically, like in Borrego Desert State Park. If it's monsoonal season, it could be raining in the mountains and 10 or 15, 20 miles away. I know they get this in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and all that area, flash floods. Something to consider. You know, if you hear that the potential for thunderstorms in the mountains, are you still going to the desert areas that you know are prone to flooding? Say you're in the northern hemisphere, and like back up in Maine where I grew up, and you hear that a bad snowstorm's coming in, but it's hunting season. Hey, it's the last day to go hunt and get that whitetail, but you hear that it's going to be a whiteout, or it's going to be below freezing conditions with high winds, and the wind chill factor is just going to be off the charts. When do you consciously make a responsible decision to say, you know what, we're going to pull the plug on this, and we're going to live the fight another day? You know, look at all the people that climb Everest, and I understand that from doing extreme sports, that you want to stand on the mountaintop, you want to cross the finish line, you work so hard with all the time, the money, the effort, the training to get there, but then people die. You know, it's just at that point, when do we say, no, we're pulling the plug, we're not going to do that? I'd like to hear from you folks in the comments below. What's some of your life experiences on that? If anybody out there in the YouTube community would like to post a video and piggyback off this, especially with fall coming up and winter coming up in areas, you know, like back east that are really prone to flooding. Even the heat index, a lot of people don't realize the heat index, that some people just can't handle that heat. And you're going out there, people getting dehydrated and they're just dropping like flies. So list in the comments below. Let's have a conversation back and forth. When do you pull the plug on a trip, and what do you consider your most extreme? Now, I understand that there's weather reports where they've called it, oh, it's going to be rain, going to be this, and then it never happens. And then you're like, and that could skew sometimes a person's judgment. But for the most part now, with satellite imagery and a lot of the reports we have, they're pretty darn accurate. So list in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And if anybody wants to post up a video on this and let's talk about it, when do you pull the plug on it? I'm just trying to raise awareness, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt, injured, lose their life at all, folks. Folks, I want to take the opportunity, if you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, press that subscribe button. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. And hit the thumbs up button. It lets Google know that you like these sort of videos. Follow along on social media. I'll leave links in the video description below. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I'm usually pretty quick to respond to any instant message, any post, and it's just a fast way for me to get the word out. It's a little bit easier than posting videos. With that said, folks, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, folks.